At 30 years old, I became a widow. My husband, Jack, was 36. Cancer. For 14 months, our whole world had been doctor's appointments, treatments, scans, and hoping for good news. And then he was gone. The next morning, still numb, I was handed a second job. All the paperwork, the money decisions, the legal issues, every question that no one prepares you to answer. And here's the part that surprised me. I was already a lawyer, and I still felt completely lost. If you've recently lost someone and then been handed a title like executor or successor trustee, then you probably know that feeling. You're grieving, and before you've even caught your breath, you're expected to deal with banks, insurance companies, real estate, investments, and family all at once. And almost everyone that I meet is thinking some version of the same thing. I'm not really sure what I'm even supposed to be doing. So this is what I want you to hear. That feeling is completely normal. And I can say this with real confidence for two reasons. First, I've guided hundreds of families through the legal steps that happen after someone passes away. Trust and estate administration for almost 30 years. And second, the part most people don't know about me, I've sat right where you're sitting. Today, I want to tell you what that taught me. 3 things that changed the entire way that I practice law and what you can take from it. Before I did any of this, as a young attorney, I was a business litigator. That meant that I spent my days in court, mostly helping business owners when they had troubles or were fighting about something. It was exciting, it was competitive, and I really liked it. But then my life changed overnight. When Jack died, I went from being a grieving widow to the person responsible for everything that comes after a death, and I kept waiting to feel like the capable lawyer that I knew that I was, but it didn't come for a long time. And I was already trained in the law, but I still felt overwhelmed, and that didn't make sense to me at the time. But what I learned in those dark months is the reason that I do the work that I do now. The first thing that surprised me is it wasn't the legal work that was hard. It was that I couldn't think clearly enough to do it. My mind was foggy, and I was forgetful, distracted. I'd read the same document 3 times, and I couldn't hold on to a word of it. But those tasks couldn't wait, and I had an important job that needed me to focus, stay organized, and I had to make decisions. I had to answer hard questions at exactly the moment that my mind was somewhere else entirely. That's the part that no one warned you about. No matter how smart or capable you are, grief slows you down, and it drains you right when the world is asking you to speed up. And the world doesn't really get it, and there's not a lot of margin for that. So if you feel slow, foggy, emotional, or even impatient or behind right now, please hear me. That is grief doing its job. It's normal and it's expected, and you're not failing. The second thing I realized is that this is an important job and there isn't much room for mistakes. And yet it's almost always done by a first-timer with no training and no map. It's not one decision, it's dozens of them, and they have to happen in a certain order. Certain things have to be done before others can even start. And that's not knowledge that most people walk in with. And no one prepares you for the roadblocks. You think you'll finish one task and then move to the next, but instead, every step comes with another wall. The bank needs another document that you don't have. The investment company, they have their own rules, but they won't tell you what they are. Or it's a mountain of forms to fill out, and they're all confusing. I've watched capable people lose hours trying to solve a problem that one 5-minute conversation would have prevented. A job that could be manageable quietly turns into a crisis. The stakes are high and the margin is thin. And that's exactly why this is not something that you should have to learn by trial and error. The third thing was the hardest for me to admit. I needed help. I've always been the self-sufficient one, capable. I built a career on being smart enough to figure things out. And yet, here I was, out of my comfort zone. But even with knowing the law, carrying it while you're grieving is a completely different thing. And I couldn't do it alone. That was a tough realization. Families in this same spot don't just need someone who knows the law. They need someone who's carried this exact weight and knows the way through it. Someone who can take them by the hand and walk them through it in order, one step at a time. So I changed my practice from business law to trust and estate law. And I learned that accepting help and getting it from just the right person at just the right time made all the difference for me. So when a new executor or successor trustee sits across from me now, I already have a pretty good idea of where they're at. I understand that grief may be slowing them down, and it may even be making them or their siblings or other family members act differently than they usually would. And I know what it is to be capable and to still need a hand. For almost 30 years now, I've had the privilege of guiding families through exactly this. Every trust is different. Every family is different. And every loss is different. But what people need is remarkably the same. Someone to cut through the confusion. Someone to help them avoid the roadblocks. Someone to tell them what matters today, what can wait, and what comes next. That became my mission, to take a process that feels overwhelming and make it manageable. One decision, one document, one step at a time. So if you've recently become an executor or a successor trustee, here's what I want you to know. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to figure it all out today. And if you're feeling overwhelmed, that just means you're human and you're doing an unfamiliar job at a difficult time in your life. You also don't have to learn this the way I did, by trial and error. There is a path forward, and you don't have to walk it alone. My hope is that this channel becomes the roadmap that I wish someone had handed me. Every week, I share practical guidance for the legal, financial, and human side of trust administration, one step at a time. So if that's where you're at right now, subscribe and let me walk it with you. And if you'd like help with your own trust administration, there's a link in the description to schedule a discovery call. Let's get you to your next step.